Hey guys, this is just a quick review of our grammar skill for lesson 12. So we're learning about quotation marks, but there's two patterns that we're learning about. Pattern 1 is when the speaker is first. Pattern 2 is when the speaker is at the end of the sentence. So if you look here, remember that if the speaker is first, so here's who's speaking, Josh said, that's also called the tag. After the tag or who is speaking, you always put that comma. Remember, there's going to be a comma separating the tag from the quote or what they're saying. Then after the comma, you're going to have the quotation mark, a capital letter, what they're saying, their exact words, and then some sort of punctuation mark. Here we have a period and then the quotation mark. Okay, so this is a statement. But the key to this is know that the sentence starts with a capital, the quote starts with a capital. There is punctuation separating the tag from the quote. So in this case, it's a comma. When the speaker is first, you have the tag, comma, and then the quote. And then you put the punctuation inside the quotation mark, okay? Inside the quotation mark. Here's an example of a question. So you have the capital letters, you have the comma separating Ron asked from what they were saying, which is who are you? Question mark, quotation mark. So see how everything is inside the quotation marks. And then there's that comma separating the tag from the quote. Okay, I keep stressing that, guys. There's a comma separating the tag from the quote. That is if the tag is first or who is speaking is listed first. Okay, it looks different when we look at the second pattern. A comma comes after the tag if the speaker is first. Here is an example of the exclamation point. Same thing. Mary screamed, comma, quote, stop, exclamation point, and then end quote. So the exclamation point is inside the quotation mark, and then we have the comma separating the tag from the quote, okay? This is pattern number 2, okay? So this is if you identify the speaker at the end. So you are nice, said Josh. You are nice, said Josh. So you have you are nice in quotation marks, and inside the quotation mark is a comma. That is because this would normally be a period, but you can't put a period here. You can only put a comma in place of a period, a question mark if they're asking a question, or an exclamation point if they're exclaiming something. Okay, and then you have the tag after the quote, and then you have that period. With this one, you want to remember, again, there is still a punctuation mark separating the quote from the tag. It's just flipped. Let's see if there's another example. Okay, so here's one. The stars are bright, quote, comma, said Cheryl, or the stars are bright, comma, quote, said Cheryl. The one that would be correct is this one, okay? Because the comma needs to be inside the quotation mark. Needs to be inside the quotation mark. Just like if you look down here, there is no coffee, then you would put comma, whoops, hold on, comma, said Donna. I'll ask my mom, comma, said Shauna. Let's play baseball, said Josh. So I moved all of those commas over because when the tag is at the end, there needs to be something separating it. So here's an example with a question mark. Who are you? Question mark, quotation mark, asked Ron, period. So it's the same thing as the comma. It's inside the quotation mark, but in this case, you know that it's a question mark because it says ask Ron, okay? So he's asking something, but it's the quotation mark, and then the question mark is inside of the quotation mark. Here's an example with an exclamation point. Stop, screamed Mary. So inside the quotation marks, you have the exclamation point, screamed Mary, and then the period, okay? So these are what the examples look like. The other thing that's a little different when the speaker's at the end is the screamed Mary is in lowercase because it's like a continuation of the sentence. Okay, so you don't have to capitalize the tag when it's at the end of the sentence. All right, so I hope this helped you. On your test, they're going to give you examples where you have to look and you have to see which quotation is correct. So you want to think, okay, where's the speaker at in the sentence or the tag at in the sentence? Is it at the beginning? Is it at the end? And then that will help you, because if it's at the beginning, you have a comma and then the quote and then the punctuation inside the quote at the end. If the speaker or the tag is at the end of the sentence, you have your quote first with some sort of punctuation inside the quote. That would be a comma, an exclamation point, or a question mark. And then you have the tag and then a period. Okay? All right. If you need to go back and rewatch any of this, you are more than welcome to help prepare for your test.